guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. It is a special day because you get to be here with me in Motor City, Detroit, Michigan, for the unveil of something that's been upgraded and changed up for model year 2025. What is it? It's this bad boy right here. This is it. This is a 2025 changed up and updated Chevrolet Suburban. This particular one is that top trim known as the High Country. But before we dive into this big family hauler, let's talk about what's going on here. Chevrolet and the Suburban. Would you believe it goes back all the way to 1935 when they came out with the carryall Suburban? Well, guess what? Fast forward to model year 2025, Chevrolet is still bringing it and bringing it big when it comes to offering a vehicle that has that ultimate in interior passenger and cargo volume. Now, of course, over the years, the Tahoe has been a big seller. The Suburban has been a big seller. But guess what? Chevy's not going to rest on their laurels. They know the competition is coming, and it's coming very quickly. So what they're doing for model year 2025 is bringing some really interesting changes that I think is going to give people something new and fresh when it comes to the Suburban, but also keep those original assets that really make the Suburban stand out. So what I want to find out is if you're looking for that massive full size, that extended size SUV for your family's needs, do you go something like Jeep Grand Wagoneer, or do you go with this Suburban High Country? Let's go ahead, let's find out the details and see what it's all about. Right off the bat, there's nothing like a Suburban. What I've always liked about the Suburban is that it has almost its own identity. Whereas other brands like Ford, you know, they have an Expedition and then they come out with an Expedition Max. Well, guess what? It's still an Expedition. This is cool because you have the Tahoe, which is the shorter version, but then the Suburban is still bringing that maximum size, length, and interior space. Now, at the front of the business, you're gonna see the change up on the LED style. And I really like the way that they did the changes. You have that almost separated section of daytime running lamp, obviously LED, and then of course you're also gonna have your LED daytime running lamp that boomerangs in this lower section. Now, what's cool for 2024, this lighting will have a walk-up effect, a signature effect when you walk up to the vehicle with the key fob. And we're gonna show that to you right now. It should be showing right above my head so you could see what that lighting looks like. Really cool to see those special touches. And obviously, it all comes down to these are the things that they're bringing that are different. Now, as we work our way down, they still have that same overall placement for the LED headlight. Love the way that they did your functional, not fake, but functional corner air curtains. Just because this is large doesn't mean that we have to try to cut down on drag. And the coefficient of drag is improved by obviously creating these aerodynamic aids. But when it comes to the changes, the lighting, the way they changed the whole front fascia. Now, with this being the High Country trim, this is the top trim. So what are some of the touches you're gonna see? You're gonna see this nice aluminum style finish. I'm glad that they went this route rather than just chrome. I feel like sometimes chrome is a little too fuddy-duddy. The aluminum style finish, it's definitely modern, but it's definitely high level, high class, which makes sense. This is the High Country. You're still gonna get your LED fog lamps, and I like the way they positioned them a little bit inward on the front of the Suburban. And then one of my favorite parts is the grille. Really did a great job having those aluminum style accents balanced with the gloss black. And of course you got the good old Chevrolet bow tie. So much history within that bow tie badge over the years. You're gonna have your forward facing camera. And then you'll notice as we work our way down, you do have that flat black area. And of course, they're increasing the technology when it comes to things to keep you safe. And that's the wonderful news, is that for the new 2025 model year Suburban, you're gonna get that standard automatic features of all the safety stuff that they bring, plus some very interesting tech on the interior. And you're still gonna have your trim choices, starting from the LS and working up to the High Country. Now, as we rise up, you still have that great looking hood. And I'm telling you right now, this metal flake in this beautiful gray color is absolutely stunning. Tons of nice metal flake. I can't wait to see this outside in the sun. And then we come around the bend, get ready, because when I say big, I have something here that's gonna blow your mind. 24-inch wheels on this high country. And not only do they have this style that really separates it, but it really doesn't look too crazy when you think about it, because you have the machined aluminum finish. I love the way they designed this center lug cover here. I think that's one of the things I like about the style of the wheel. It's not just about the size. I mean, just because it's a big wheel doesn't mean it's a good looking wheel. What's nice is with that center cover here, covering up the lug nuts, it really gives it that nice, luxurious feel to what the high country is all about. But all those gloss black accents with the machined aluminum. Now, I'm gonna have Steven kind of zoom in and show off the suspension. And the reason why is because they went through and retuned the suspension. Now remember, you'll be able to get your magnetic ride suspension if you want, depending on the trim, of course, because you have those 6 different trims, so you have upgraded Magna Ride suspension. You're also gonna be able to get that air ride suspension as well, depending on the trim. And of course, with this being a high country, you're gonna see that type of suspension technology in there. And then on top of that, you still have that great working 4x4 system. Now, when it comes to the overall tire size, what you're gonna notice is that we have a 285 on the width, 40 series sidewall, and like I said, 24-inch wheels. Now, as we rise up, underneath the hood, you have 3 different engine options, just like before, but the great news is that they changed something in a very good way. So you're gonna have, of course, depending on the trim, your 5.3 liter naturally aspirated V8, 355 horsepower, the 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8, 420 horsepower, but then you also have the option of the Duramax turbo diesel. And what's great is that they're putting it, especially between the Tahoe and the Suburban, making it available in different trims for the first time. And what's great is that it's not just they took the same exact engine as previous, they actually bumped up power by 10%. So you're looking at 305 horsepower, but get ready for this, 495 pound-feet of torque. So that's some pretty good news underneath the hood, and I like the way you could have it your way, just like Burger King, you get to have it your way with engine choices. Now coming down the side, you do have that great looking high country badge. Really shows the attention to detail, and I think that's what Chevrolet is really bringing big time with these new redesigns and these new refreshes. I know a lot of times people are like, Joe, the Corvette is so amazing, the Corvette has all this style, all this technology, how come the other Chevrolet vehicles don't have it? Well, guess what? We showed you with the Trax, we showed you with the new EVs that are coming, with the Blazer and the Equinox, and definitely now with this updated, upgraded Suburban, you're getting a lot of those touches that maybe you thought were only once available in a Corvette, they're bringing even on their full-size vehicles. You're gonna have, of course, the color match on the mirror caps. You got your 360-degree cameras, and one of the things that's really cool for model year 2025 is they have an additional camera inside the vehicle. Now, that really isn't something new. There's a lot of brands that have been running different kinds of cameras on the interior so that you could see the kids in the back seat or whatever. What's cool about this technology is that utilizing your phone and the Chevy app, you could actually view these cameras from a distance. So let's say you walk the 2 miles to your office, it's 90 degrees outside, you're sweating all over the place, and then you say, man, I forgot my wallet in the center console. Well, guess what? Instead of you walking out there and then remembering that you put it in your briefcase and that you didn't put it in the center console, now you could look and see if it's really there. So not only is that technology saving you time, that could possibly save you from a heat stroke as you're walking back and forth from your office. That's the type of technology that Chevrolet wants to bring to you because they don't want you to have a heat stroke problem. They want you to enjoy the Suburban to its fullest. Now, when we come down the side, of course, you're gonna have some bright, shiny metalwork. I'm glad they only bring it on the bottom. I feel like if the bright, shiny metalwork was up top, it would make the side of the vehicle look a little heavy, aesthetically. And I think that's something that, like with the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, they go a little too crazy with the silver trim everywhere, and it kind of just makes the vehicle look a little too heavy from the side. I really like the way it's just along the bottom. Of course, you're gonna have the nice touches on the door handles, a little bit of both with the color match and with the shiny finish. And then of course, one thing that's gonna make your life very easy is you have those automatic dropping running boards, just like before. Love the size. There are plenty on the width to allow and accommodate for many different shoe sizes, but working our way down the side of the vehicle, one other thing I want to tell you about with those cameras is that now they have the capability to record a little bit before an accident, God forbid, and a little bit after an accident, so that you could have that video footage that might determine a lot of different things that happen after the accident. These are the things, like I said, that Chevrolet is bringing. Of course, just like before, we have the silver finish on the side, like the way that they extended past the rear passenger door. You got the 4x4, and you have all the tuning to the suspension and the steering. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to make this large vehicle not feel so large when you're driving it. What that's going to do is it's going to inspire confidence. It's going to make you feel good to drive this vehicle wherever you have to. And of course, as we work towards our rear, we do have the changes up front. They also made some changes out back. Love the way they did the LED lighting. We have it illuminated here. And one of my favorite things that they've always done right is not having that ugly wiper sticking out. It really cleans up the back of the Suburban. And then one of those new technology touches that they have is going to be that total hands-free operation. So you could have the key fob in your pocket. You walk up to the back of your Suburban. You have, maybe you went and you pulled over on the side of the road and bought a couple pumpkins because you're going to carve them for Halloween. You got the pumpkins in your hands. You don't want to put the pumpkins on the floor. Guess what? Key fob in your pocket. You get a couple beeps, a couple alerts, and it will automatically open up for you. That is technology to save you a bunch of hassle. Along the bottom, you have a little bit more of that bright, shiny metalwork, and I love the way they do the staggered exhaust. So many brands are tucking their exhausts underneath the back. You know, they're making them all fake and stuff. Like, what is the point of that? Chevrolet wants to have that sound coming out the back, and not only do they look good, of course, with the different engine options, you're gonna have some good sounding noise come out of the exhaust. And one thing to realize with the Duramax turbo diesel engine, not only are you getting more power, but it is also more efficient and less emissions coming out the exhaust. So that's another thing that you could check off if you've ever been interested in getting that Duramax turbo diesel engine. And of course, as we drift to the center, this plastic cover comes off and you could tow up to 8,200 pounds with your Suburban. So that's what makes it so versatile. It's not just about hauling a bunch of stuff inside, but it's also about hauling a trailer behind you of some type, boat, maybe you got a motorcycle trailer or something like that, and you have that tow capability. But why don't we go ahead? This Suburban is big, but guess what? I got some big changes on the interior I want to show you. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, we are inside this 2025 updated, upgraded Chevrolet Suburban. This is the top trim. Remember, it starts with LS, and we are in the high country. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, there seems to be some really big changes here. And guess what? You're correct. You're correct with that assumption. There are a ton of big changes. I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, with those changes, I'm sure the price is going to be different. Well, we'll have to wait and see what the official pricing yet is going to be. That is not available, but I'm sure Chevrolet is going to be very smart and make sure that they have the proper price point to go up against the competition. But what we're going to do is I want to take you on a tour and show you the changes, especially to this high country when it comes to that luxury style trim. So let's do it. To the door panels, I love what they've done with the two-tone and the interior. Up top, you'll see the new change up of materials. You got the contrast stitching. That's real wood finish. So no veneer or anything like that. I like the way it's just a bare real wood. You have that milky chocolate brown color, which looks very tasteful. You're going to have a door pocket there that is perfect for about 5 Snickers. And then down below, you have enough room for 2 Chipotle burritos. And you could go ahead and get extra guac because there's plenty of room there, and a Coke to wash it down. And on top of that, we got a Bose sound system. Now, one of my favorite changes is going to the dash. You'll see the updated material, this perforated material here. You have your stitching. Look at the High Country badge. It's just the little details that all add up to the big picture. The wood finish. Now remember, these are pre-production units. And with that being said, this particular one, I don't have the screen on. Now, if you want to see the screen on, watch the review of the Tahoe, which is also upgraded for 2025 to see this all illuminated. But this is your 17.7-inch new screen, full touchscreen capability, Plus, you have a real volume knob. There's more of that wood finish. You got your dual climate controls. I like the way they kept physical knobs and buttons for the climate control. Wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A. You'll notice the pocket on the side. That's where you could keep a copy of TV Guide or Reader's Digest. 2 cup holders, and then you still have that awesome power sliding center console. So this is where you could put a 5-pound bag of apples, maybe a couple bags of grapes, and then you have all of that great material, the nice soft material. Watch this, secret storage. That's where you could keep your atomic fireballs, maybe some Jolly Ranchers. And then of course the seats, the High Country embroidery. Love the way they do the seats now with the piping. Full electric assist for the passenger. Of course, full electric assist for the driver. And then if you look up, we do have that nice, massive panoramic sunroof. But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the new wheel in this new High Country. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of this Suburban. You know, as soon as you walk in, you're going to be greeted by this nice silver aluminum plate here with the High Country name. Of course, you got all your seat controls, easy to get to, 2 memory seat settings. And when I talk about comfort, it's not just about the seats looking better, but they feel really good, especially the lower portion of the seat kind of nestles my legs really well, the backside of my legs really well. And then not only are the materials different in the way that they organize this whole center console and dash area, but also the steering wheel. On the thicker side, to really give you something nice to grab onto, you'll notice that you'll have availability of Super Cruise. We've shown you that in our other Radies Rides reviews. Steering wheel is redesigned with the High Country name. Little bit of silver trim, little bit of gloss. You do have paddles to go up and down that 10-speed automatic, and you do have the column shifter just like before. Now on the High Country, it is a power tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and then you do have that new 11-inch digital gauge cluster. Like I said, watch the Tahoe review at the end of this one if you want to see that all illuminated. And then really the cherry on top of all this technology is, of course, you're going to get a ginormous head-up display. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the 2 rows, mid-row and third row in the Suburban, and see if this is the one you should be getting. All right, guys, mid-row time, and what the Suburban's always been good at, even in the original days, is just giving those mid-row passengers that space that they really want. And you're going to get that with this Suburban with the new materials. Love the armrests, and I don't have to zonk them because guess what? They're the proper thickness. So you have your captain's chairs. Of course, they slide and they recline, and you have your 2 separate multimedia systems on the backs. And what I think is smart about this is the way you could tilt it for your shorter passengers, and it really has a nice movement to it. Now down below, you are going to get a large pocket, easily put, I would say, 2, maybe 3 chocolate chip cookie cakes back here. You do have your 2 cup holders, and it's cool to show the center console extended all the way back with the AC controls. You do have heated seats. The Zonk is no ventilated seats, but you got your USB-Cs, HDMIs, and a power source down here. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm telling you, if you need more room, I don't know what to tell you because they really bring it big. And I'm not going to sit in the third row because I did that in the Tahoe. Watch the Tahoe review. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make the seat fold down so that Steven could show you that back seat area. And what the hell, I'll do it. I know we said we weren't going to do it, Steven. We're doing it. Sitting back here in this third row, it is so comfortable. You got USB-Cs, you got your cup holders, you got all of those goodies that really make things. And then I could fold down this, and then I could just sit like this. Now I'm chilling like a villain. But why don't we go ahead, let's get in the cargo area because I want to show you what all these rows look like down in the Suburban. All right, guys, the last piece of this ginormous puzzle, of course, is the cargo area. Now, like I said, you have that new tech, having the key fob in your pocket. We're going to do it the old-fashioned way by hitting the button, nicely placed right there. You're going to get your electric assist, rises up, and one of the things that's always been supreme with the Suburban is just how much freaking room you have with the third row up. This is why if you need massive amount of room, you have to go Suburban, and they bring it big. Now, what you'll notice is on the passenger side, you do have your home power source, which is great, and you have switch gear to fold down the seats. I'm going to go ahead and fold down the third row. Check out We have well over 100 cubic feet of space. And this is one of these things where, guess what? The Suburban has a new look. It's got new materials, but it still has that capability to where if you get kicked out of the house, get yourself an inflatable mattress and some pillows, and you can sleep in this thing. That's how much room there is. But you know what? We're not ready to prove how the driving is yet because we got to get invited to the first drive, which I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm sure we will be there. That means you will be there, but we need to wrap it up because we need to fly to California in T-minus 60 minutes. So let's get to it. All right, guys, it's been one heck of a day with this updated 2025 Chevrolet Suburban. Of course, we got to thank the whole Chevrolet team inviting us and being able to bring the details to you. Let me know what you think down in that comment section because I know they're going to be looking through and perusing through the comment section. Do you feel that if you need to go full size on your next SUV, does the Suburban, especially the High Country, bring that right recipe of technology, engine options, and interior comfort with features? Let me know down in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiders Rides family. Of course, we need to give it Stephen Flood Photography, working that camera like a champ. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.